Now I'd like to give you a brief tour of the online resources that are available through the School District of Waukesha website. There are a number of different things that you will find on this website that will help you answer questions, troubleshoot problems, and find resources to assist you. If you go to the Waukesha School District website, under the Parents section, you'll find the Technology Help Site link. Click on that link and it will take you to the Public Help site. On here is all kinds of information for you. If you have not visited it before, I encourage you to spend some time looking this over. There are resources here to help you with not only the Waukesha One information regarding your child's iPad, but also Infinite Campus, Blackboard, Google Apps, a student survival guide, technology help desk ticket, which is how you would be asking for help with a broken or damaged device. But today what I'd like to do is take you to the Waukesha One information link. On this link, you're going to see a number of different tabs across the top. Take some time and explore the different tabs and the information that each of them presents to you. The Overview tab includes goals and objectives of the Waukesha One program, the scope, the learning device, namely the iPad, and then our deployment schedule. The instructional practices will give you an idea of what you can look for in your child's learning. What is the personalized learning model that we're all working towards implementing? Some instructional examples of what that would look like. Why are we doing this? Our need for change and the research to support it. The events calendar is typically regarding the rollout schedule that we are a part of. If you go to the Parent tab, which is the one you're probably most interested in, you're going to see the presentations such as this one listed here. You're also going to see a link to the forms. These are the forms that you're going to be asked to sign at the conclusion of viewing this video, namely the financial responsibility form and the student iPad pledge form. These two are both required to be signed by yourself, and the iPad pledge form also needs to be signed by your child before they can receive the device. Also on this page, you will notice that there is an acceptable use policy. This is a form that you've already signed back on our forms and fees days in August, but it is here for your reference in case you'd like to take another look at what exactly you had signed already. Back into the Parent tab we go, and you will see Parent Tutorials. This page is helpful because it does give you some short video clips and gives you lots of great advice on topics including setting restrictions on your iPads, viewing different tutorials on how to use and maneuver around the iPad, and how to access and update your child's Apple ID as needed. There's also some great information on internet safety. I know that that is something that most parents are keenly aware of and always looking for more information about. This is a great place for you to go to take a look at what advice experts would offer you as a parent. The last area on here is called the adding internet filtering to your home. If you would have a wireless internet hotspot in your home, you may want to consider looking at the options for setting restrictions and limitations on that Wi-Fi access. One free filtering service that you can use is called OpenDNS. This will filter this will put on a number of different restrictions that you may wish to impose on your internet home filtering system. Feel free to take a look at this link. There's also a video clip down below here that will also allow you to see it in action. Going back up now, we have a little bit more on home internet safety, which will include more information on the OpenDNS, the responsibilities that you have as a parent, that your child has as a student, and the staff has as employees of the Waukesha School District. How to report missing, damaged, and found iPads is outlined here. So there's a form that you can fill in if your device is missing, damaged, or found. This will help us begin the process of replacing or repairing an iPad or reuniting it with the original owner who had lost theirs. Next on the parent form, we have a resource for affordable internet if you're looking to add internet to your home. The app inventory, which will tell you what types of items your child will be given access to through their iPad, the different applications that we will be using as part of our learning day. There's also an approved apps and banned apps section, which we'll get to in a little bit. So please feel free to get comfortable with this presentation. Next, on the district website, next you should have received from Apple, directly from Apple, on January 13th, and also February 1st, you would receive an email from Apple asking you to please create an Apple ID for each of your children that are receiving devices here. Each child needs to have their own ID, and the letter that you should have received from Apple would give you a link that will take you to their website so that you can create unique Apple IDs for each of your children. What we are asking for the students of Meadowbrook is to have a password created for them that follows this set of criteria. The first thing we'd like in their password is to have a capital first name initial, followed by their last name, followed by their student ID number, which is their lunch code. And the students are very familiar with how to enter their lunch code. The sample that we have below here is capital J Wagner 121128. So that would be the password that the child or you would be entering anytime they wanted to download any apps that were necessary for learning. We will be asking that you turn in the Apple ID and password for each of your children to the school so that we can better assist them here at school if we would need to have them download an app for a learning activity in the classroom. Before you can take the iPads home, we do have a card that you do need to note their password, their Apple ID, as well as the 3 questions that Apple has asked you as part of their security process. Our goal is to have all the Apple IDs completed by Monday, January 19th. Now that date has already passed, so we are asking that parents complete that process as soon as possible so that we can facilitate a smoother rollout experience for everyone. The rollout dates again were February 2nd and February 5th. In preparation for the rollout, a couple of pieces of information that you would be very interested in. First of all, the iPad will be provided to your child in a case that is also being provided by the School District of Waukesha. The cases are a nice quality, durable case. This is what they look like. It's called the STM case, and it comes in 3 different colors. I believe we'll be getting black cases for our students. But you can see that it allows the iPad to have a nice protected corner. It can be in the typing position, in the stand-up video viewing position, or it can be closed and covered. These district provided cases will be issued with the iPads in them on the rollout days. The password lock. One of the things that your children will need to have created is a password lock, which will prevent other students from gaining access to their iPad and the work that they have stored on their iPad. The password lock will be the first 4 digits of your child's lunch code. Again, this is to make it easy for them to remember and yet secure the device from other students. The lock screen and the home screen images will be a selfie picture that we'll be taking during our setup period. Students may not take the iPads home until all the paperwork is completed by parents and the schoolwork requires the devices to go home. This will be determined by the classroom teachers. There may be nights that the iPad does not come home. which will also be determined by the classroom teachers. How to manage the iPad at home. Parents have asked for some advice as to how to provide a safe experience in a home setting with this technology device. Safety is a concern for all of us. We want the child and the iPad to both be safe as they're getting to know each other. Please consider the limits on use that you would like to create for your home. Our reading and homework expectations will be the same. We're not specifically assigning homework to be done on an iPad necessarily, and additional homework should not be anticipated because we have an iPad. We do ask that you create a recharging station in your home, maybe the same spot where your child puts the iPad every single day. It's a way for you to put an end to their school day or their learning experience by having them plug in the iPad before they go to sleep or as soon as they're done doing their homework on the iPad. We do ask that the child bring it back to school each day fully charged and ready to go. Guidelines for personal apps. Personal apps are to only be used at home. We will not allow the students to have access to the personal apps folder at any time during the school day. Students will be asked if they would like to download up to 5 personal apps at a time to be put into a created home folder. Again, that folder will only be accessible at home. These apps, however, do need to still be educationally appropriate. These are not random gaming apps, and they are to be school-oriented and school-appropriate. Personal apps, including purchased apps, will be deleted as space warrants. Now, just because an app is purchased, it can be installed or deleted off of multiple devices where you use that Apple ID. We are keenly aware that the amount of space on an iPad is limited, and so if there's a need for more space and memory, the personal app folder will be the first to go. Please understand that you still own any of the purchased apps that you have bought, but they may or may not be able to be used on the school-issued iPad. Again, the school-issued iPad is for learning purposes only, not for personal gaming and personal app use. Of course, there are no violent or mature games that are ever appropriate on a school device, and there should be no social media apps at all. Social media reminders. First of all, again, I'll say no social media apps are allowed on school-provided iPads, period. There is a federal law, referred to as COPA, which requires that children be 13 years of age in order to gain access to any of the social media apps that you see displayed here. Students should not be creating Pandora, Kik, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Vine, Tumblr, Pinterest, any of those types of accounts, because they are supposed to be 13 years of age or older. We highly recommend that you follow this recommendation, and we will not allow any of these apps to be on the iPads. In fact, the school district monitoring will be specifically geared towards social media apps, and students who do try and download an app onto their iPad will soon quickly find a red circle with a line through it and the word banned stamped over the top of those apps. Those apps will then have to be immediately removed from the iPad. Personal use reminders. This is a school device, and it is to be used by the student for school purposes. This is not a personal device that they can use at any time or place or in any way that they wish. Again, this is a school device used for school purposes. We have the right to review any iPad at any time for any reason. If there is any inappropriate use or inappropriate apps that are being observed either through an evaluation of the history or by seeing the students using the tools, we do have consequences that will be enforced strictly. Educational apps only is our requirement. You may see the lists on the Waukesha One website of any apps that we recommend or have banned.